Okay, so we're on the first day of our camp out, our last Barb and Gabby camp out of the season. And we are lucky enough to have some neighbors who've been here for a few weeks. And John?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he's going to tell us about a few of the things that he's been experiencing before we got here. One of the things, this is one of the first things he brought to point out to us. And by the way, he had no idea that we were Bigfooters or that we were going to be here, so none of this was pre-planned. Yeah, check this out. So tell us about when this appeared.
A couple of weeks ago, we heard some stuff at night, and the next morning I was out walking around, and I found this structure here, and there was as well a lean-to, but I don't see that now.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's so similar to some of the stuff we saw down at Ocean Shores. The purpose of it I can't even begin to imagine, but it's really cool.
Strange.
Yeah, so you say there was a lean-to too, and that has since disappeared?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Down here. Okay, so yeah, this is just a tiny little creek, tiny little bit of water.
A little bit more over to where they're at in that general area right here.
This is awesome.
I just kind of want to go over and take this anchor and see if it flies back up in the air.
Yeah, see? Bent trees, and it's got, what, 2 sticks weighting it down, 3. There's one on the tip. And those make big X's. Yeah, when we were in this area last year, there was so many bent, folded, twisted, woven trees in here. Sandy, you really want to see this?
And this was deliberately bigger. If I take this off, this tree's going back up in the air.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let's not mess with their stuff. Did you guys notice the X here in the creek?
Notice the what?
This X right here. Right there.
I'm trying to see a pattern in the stick placement.
Look how it's...
They're woven.
Three atop,
So
3 below, 3 atop. See the first 3 going this way?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. They're on top of the logs. The second 3 are underneath of it.
And then 3
there's
on
3
top.
more that are on top.
And then there's 2 more
And
that
then
are on
there's
top.
2 more.
Okay, I'm going here.
Whether it's whether I'm seeing something or it's random, I don't know. But
So these 2 are on top.
start at the left, or you don't go that way. But
That's on top.
and then
1 up, 1 down.
no, 3s. Do groups of 3s from the left.
Well, now I see a 2 pattern.
Do you see a 2 pattern?
2, 2, 1 up, 1 down, 2
2.
under. This is 2 up, and then
Okay,
those.
you see 2 pattern. All right.
Yeah, I do
see
too.
it?
Yeah,
Now
there's
I
2,
see
2,
3
2,
pattern.
2, 2.
Now I see it.
So if I see a 3, that 3 would be up, 2, 3 under,
And then 3
and
over.
then 3 up. So yeah, either way, huh? That is
And you didn't do this.
cool.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm serious. We heard something at night, and it was the night that we had the prints outside of our tent. And I mean, literally, it came up, whatever it was, came up to the tent and looked in the back window. Because we had our tent setting up here on the plateau right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it was the same night that that shelter, the lean-to thing you were talking about appeared, which has since disappeared.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But it was right. It was like right here in the same area, though.
You're down closer, Sandy. The ones that are in the
Looks
creek
like
bed,
there's
are they
something
propped or are they shoved
right
into
over
the
there.
ground?
Sticks are.
That night you heard stuff. The
Yeah.
night this appeared.
Are they
What were you
placed in
thinking?
between
Bear.
the boulders?
Bear?
And I fell asleep, and Kathy the next morning said, "Yeah, something came up and it just smelled super awful, and then it just disappeared."
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
No problem. I'm just curious.
Me too, and you know, it's like once you've drank the Kool-Aid, there's no going back.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna leave the mountain. They're gonna get a house in town. I'm gonna stay up here looking.
I can't say I blame you.
So some are loose and some are deeper, and some are behind that and some are front. How awesome is that?
Man, I didn't know what to think of it.
Yeah, I can imagine if you have no clue that there's Bigfoots in the area, you don't know anything about them, you're the only people out here, you have noise in the middle of the night, and you come out and find this the next day.
So is this right, Barb? Hey, Barb.
That's awesome. Hey, you guys, massive track right here. Right there. Doggone it, and I'm about out of battery. This might be castable. It's huge. Toes. Right there. Okay. 15-inch footprint right here. From there to there. Back here. 15 inches. Awesome. Yeah, so here's the road that turns off to our camp. And this morning, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, right back there in the trees is a huge X. Right there. And yeah, that wasn't there yesterday. So can you tell us about your cone experience again?
Yep, I was standing here having coffee about 6:30 in the morning, and pine cones started flying through. And I started looking in the canopy, and I got hit in the front when I was turning to the side and realized that they were coming from across Forest Road 73 there.
All the way over there.
Yeah, and they're coming in
horizontally?
Very fast.
So how many hit you?
2.
2 of them.
Yep.
Cool.
And then I heard a knock.
Right on.
And it stopped.
That was it, huh?
Yep.
And how long ago was this?
2.5, 3 weeks or so.
Wow, that's awesome.
No possible way that we
But
did
did this dent appear at the same time?
Yes.
Really?
That one did.
Awesome. Wow.
That particular one did.
Yeah,
So we did. We stood here for probably a better part of a half hour looking stupid, trying to figure out if one of us put our
Had
hand,
done it.
had
Yeah.
slipped
Yeah.
and touched it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really look like a bear, but it, I don't know. I just chalked it up as a bear.
Wow.
In the truck, it was really dry up here at that point. It was when the fire ban was just, because the fire ban's been off for what, 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Happily.
right at that point when, and something just kept making my hair stand up on end like I was being
You
watched.
get the skin crawls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'd hear something, so I'd come over here and I'd follow all through the damn woods, and I'd go back and come back, and then we found the print.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we have
that's an
internet.
excellent photo.
Okay, so yeah.
If you look down here, look.
Yeah, there's more down there. And yeah, that's thumb, fingertips, and that looks like,
Like
the butt of the hand. And look at the length.
The length
It's
is
long, just like I
But
told
I mean,
you
look,
to be.
The length
that
is
was
wrong
from here to here.
compared
Yeah,
what it should
yeah.
be.
For
That's
it to be a
incredible.
human, it didn't fit. That's why you thought it was a bear.
And like I said, we sat
like
here for a
right-
better part of a half hour. I mean, turning our hands backwards to see
Trying
if
to
if I did this and slipped. And
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's very
yeah,
awesome.
somebody said hello.
And
That's
and
pretty
you got
cool.
the dent at the same time.
It's like the side of the
That is so
Really,
cool.
it is.
morning they were throwing the pine cones. As soon as that knock happened, they quit.
Really?
Oh yeah,
It was
instantly.
probably a signal to knock it off.
Yes,
Hmm.
truly. Somebody said, hey.
It was hilarious because I mean, as quick as it started, the knock and bam, it was done.
That was it,
There
huh?
has to be a clan leader who says
Oh, yeah.
what happens, what
Yeah.
goes, what
They've got their own
doesn't.
hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pecking order.
Well, anyhow, the guy that was getting the pine cones, like, then the very next weekend, her and I were walking out having a smoke and a cup of coffee, and some guy come running out of our old campsite on the opposite side with a fillet knife in his hand. He goes, and his dog's running all through the trees and looking up. He goes, there's something going on. There's something here.
No shit, Sherlock.
And yeah, exactly. And let me guess, pine cones are being thrown at you. He goes, how'd you know? I said, been there, done that. And we walked out in the middle of the road, and they kept throwing them at his dog. He had a pit bull, and they kept throwing them. And the dog knew that something was in the canopy. He was looking on the ground. The dog kept running and looking and stuff.
Who's doing that?
Yeah. So there's some pretty neat stuff going on.
Didn't you say he was going down the road and the cones were following him?
Oh yeah, he came out with us, and then they threw him out there.
Up here?
Yeah, right across the bridge.
Let's go there tomorrow.
So
She's like, I'm ready.
Yeah. And the pine cones, like they were throwing them at me like at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun was coming up, and
It was really a pretty morning too. It was cool, but it was pretty.
We've been waiting for this.
Oh, yeah.
They were laughing at me at work.
Really?
It was raining. And I go, oh yeah, they'll have tarps up and stuff. And they go, I don't think that sounds fun.
Yeah.
They have no sense of adventure.
We just had spitting.
Yeah.
Little bits of
Oh, it was
spitting.
pouring.
Nope.
Kind of like
stored.
last weekend, whenever 2 weekends ago when I was up at Barb's.
Okay.
It was pouring.
Yeah, it got windy.
Oh, tell them what you heard at my cabin a couple weeks ago, last weekend.
Yeah, I was up there by myself. Well, I had her dog and my little dog. And in the middle of the night sometime, I heard this really loud, close. And I'm just like laying there going, oh, I'm not getting up. And then the neighbor's motion detectors lights came on. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting out. No, the dogs didn't bark or anything. So,
I had my head in the
so that was kind of, and the motion lights went off, and then they came back about a minute later. They came back on.
So
And I'm
something's
like,
over there.
Something's over there.
Any other sounds?
No, it was just that big. Whatever. Yeah.
It would do it for me.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like,
think
I'm
so.
breaking into Barb's, and there's no one keeping me out.
She didn't want to get out of the tent.
I didn't want to get out. I didn't want to get out of the sleeping bag. I was too comfortable. I was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared though.
No,
I
not
wasn't scared.
comfortable with it.
Why didn't you look
Yeah.
up?
yeah.
I don't because I didn't want to get out of my sleeping bag.
And then you would have to react.
Yeah.
It just raised your hair and just kind of. It was really,
Eerie.
yeah. And it was a long. It was a long howl.
How many seconds you think it lasted?
I don't know, 10, 12 seconds probably.
Yeah.
And it just faded off, but it just certainly just kind of like
Starts low and then it grows and then just sustains forever.
Well, let's
Yep.
think about that, you guys. If they're going to have their babies in the spring, which is when you want to have your children, because all the food's starting to come again, you don't want to have a baby early in the winter. You don't want to have one late in the fall. Now is the mating time. And that howl may be, come and get me, I'm an unattached male.
Or maybe they already came and got him, and
He was- So, do you remember by chance what the weather conditions might have been when that happened?
cool and clear. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. When I heard it, it would have been 3 years ago, like 2 weeks ago, just like 2 miles downriver, and I heard it 4 times, and there was one of those dry summer storms coming through where there's thunder and lightning but no rain, and there was this huge clap of thunder, and it was just a few minutes after that I heard the first one, and I didn't even realize that I was hearing the first one. I heard it, but it didn't register, and the second one happened, and that's when my head popped up and went, oh my God, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And then I went outside. I heard it, the third one I heard through the window. I went outside and I heard the fourth
Were
one.
they on the hillside across?
Yeah, right across from the house.
Yeah.
And of course I had the iPod in my hand the whole time. Never once occurred to me to turn it on and record. And then, that was a couple months before my sighting down by Greenwater, where I saw the big guy chasing the elk. And then I told my husband about it, and he said, well, you didn't see a Bigfoot make that sound. You can't say it was a Bigfoot. I'm like, it's
What
classic Bigfoot. Okay, believe me, we know this is the classic Bigfoot sound. Yeah, nothing else is going to make that sound. And about a week later, he says, so you know that sound you told me about? I said, yeah. And he says, yeah, he heard it too. He said he woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep, and he's just laying there under the open window. And he said it came from the hill across the highway there too. And he described it as being like the air raid sirens he used to hear back in D.C. when he was a kid. And but still, he insists. Virginia. He grew up
Same
right
line neck
close to
close.
real close to Washington.
I remember those air